Hello, and welcome to Raven Light Healing Meditations. This is my 100-day Sit for Peace challenge. Today is day 18. When I saw the Walk for Peace, I asked myself what I could do to create peace for myself, my family, and my community. And I got the idea to dedicate an hour of my time to sit in mindfulness practice every day for 100 days. And today is day 18. And so far, I feel like it's been going pretty well. I've learned a lot and feel more confident and more aware and alive with life. So with that, we will begin day 18 of our Sitting for Peace challenge. Start by getting the body into position, moving around and finding a really comfortable posture. Sit up straight, look straight ahead, and relax. Close your eyes. Next, we want to focus our attention on the breathing. Allow the breath to explore the body and gently massage out any stress or tension. Feel the body softening with each breath. Dropping the shoulders, loosening the jaw, relaxing the forehead, making the breath a really comfortable place to be. And once the breath is really comfortable and very steady, bring your attention to thoughts of goodwill. Thoughts of peace, unity, harmony for all. Practice to maintain a constant, steady awareness of peace. today as I sit, I'd like to dedicate the meditation to those in my life who have passed into spirit. After many members of my family passed into spirit so quickly and closely together, I felt that I needed to search for what happens when we leave our bodies. Eventually, there was a realization that when people have passed over, the way you can get in touch with them is through the power of the mind, the current of the mind. So I began to practice mindfulness, develop awareness. And I discovered the best thing I could do for them is send them a current of peace, a current of goodwill, wishing that they find a good rebirth. And I feel them here with me now, giving gratitude for the practice. And I know that there is peace. So I can be at peace as well. A lot of people have been concerned recently about how karma in cause and effect has played out in the recent events of the world. The ancient teachers generally discourage trying to trace back exactly what people did that caused them to die in this way or in that way. Many of them said that if you tried to trace that back, you'd go crazy, for the issues of karma, the laws of cause and effect, are so complex basic principle is simple. Whatever was done with a skillful intention gets a pleasant result. Whatever was done with an unskillful intention gives an unpleasant result. There's correspondence between the particular type of unskillful action and the particular type of unskillful result. But as for the precise details, what exactly the people did, how they did it, together or separately, no one can trace those back. What we can do, though, is to focus on the most skillful thing we can do right now, given the situation. That's where the emphasis should lie. And one thing we can do is to help the world through our meditation. Sending out thoughts of goodwill, thoughts of peace, love, and unity. Many people think that to sit with your eyes closed could be irresponsible, that we're running away from the world. But when you think about the unhealthy energies people are putting out in the world all day, every day, through their thoughts, words, and deeds, you can see that the world really needs people who are putting out peaceful energy. That's where meditation has a lot to offer. Allow the peaceful energy to flow in with the breath and out with the breath, filling the body and flowing out into the world. Wisdom starts with asking the question, what, when I do it, will lead to my long-term welfare and happiness? The emphasis is here on the long term, because it holds the realization that you are responsible for the actions that lead to that long-term happiness. We are responsible for creating the peaceful world we wish to see. You can think of the mind like a broadcast station. It sends out currents and it receives currents. If we create a peaceful, steady, calming current, that has an effect on the world in so many magical ways. This peaceful, steady, calming energy may be subtle, but it's there, just beneath the breath. So when you become really sensitive to the present moment, to the whole body, sitting and breathing, you can tune in to this peaceful, steady, calming energy. Reflect on the fact that all who are born into the human race have unskillful karma. There's no need to wish ill on anyone, no matter what. best thing you can do in difficult circumstances is to figure out the most skillful thing to do right now. You try not to give in to your emotions or give in to your fears, but to create within your mind as skillful a state as possible, as calm and steady and mindful a state as you can. And then offer that to other people. That's a way of helping. When you think of the challenges that are taking place in the world, the most skillful thing we can do is embody the example we wish to see. When you sit in meditation, you can send currents of peaceful energy out into the world. So as you're meditating, realize that you're not doing this just for yourself. You're doing it for the good of the world. And you want to do it well, to do it truly, so that it can truly be helpful to the whole world. Sometimes this thought can give you a little extra incentive to be very mindful and put effort into your meditation. When we're sitting alone, we have the tendency to get sloppy or let our effort start lacking. We think, oh, it's just me, and I'm content with this type of meditation. But what does that kind of meditation do for those who are aging, who experience illness, who experience difficulty? So if we really focus, we can help the world through sending peace in our meditation. The general current of energy in the world requires as much calm, steady, and peaceful input as possible. So if that is what you're broadcasting right now, make sure you're broadcasting it with effort. The only true peace in the world is peace without any drawbacks, without any harm. There are many things in the world that are good in one way, but harmful in another. Yet the practice of meditation, the practice of training the mind, is good all around. Good for ourselves, for the people around us, and for the earth. This is one of the reasons we develop mindfulness. Not to be non-reactive, but to be mindful of what we're doing and what the results of what we do show us, of the situation we're in, and of the most skillful thing to be doing right now. The laws of cause and effect, the laws of karma, apply all the time, 24/7. So we train our mind to be skillful at all times, no matter what the situation, no matter how minor or major it may seem. Every time we experience a challenge, we have the opportunity to do good. We are invited to act on skillful intentions. This requires work. It requires training. And that's what we're doing right here. It's important to keep in mind, no matter how ordinary or extraordinary the situation, the teaching of mindfulness applies everywhere. What you're doing is important. The thoughts, words, and deeds, the currents you receive and send out, they matter. When our awareness is developed, we begin to see the cause and effect cycle more clearly. This thought leads to this emotion, leads to this action, or this thought leads to that thought, leads to that action. We watch and we observe as the mind and body are living their daily lives. whatever is happening in the universe, the basic pattern is something you can discern right here in the present moment. When you come to practice mindfulness, there are a lot of times when you may experience a sort of culture shock. It's not a question of going from Western culture to Asian culture. It's more going from the culture of ordinary people without mindfulness to the culture of pure ones with mindfulness. This culture involves a radically different set of values, a different etiquette, a different purpose. The culture of ordinary people is just to keep families going, to keep the human race surviving, to keep your career, to keep people clothed and fed, and try to sort out the balance among different people's greed, anger, and delusion in such a way that things are relatively peaceful. But this always takes place in the context of a world of duality and polarity, where you have gain and loss, praise and criticism, pleasure and pain. These things all come in pairs, and you end up not getting anything that's totally whole. The purpose of the customs of the pure ones is to lead to something that is one single thing all the way through. There's no concern about keeping your appetites going, but there is a focused concern on finding a true happiness. That one point, that one focus trumps everything else. And it affects everything within the culture. From the way we walk, to the way we talk, what we wear, what we eat, the kind of shelter we look for, the medicine we use. Everything from the very basics all the way up to how we comprehend our own mind. So as you shift from a lack of mindfulness to having mindfulness, there are bound to be periods of culture shock. But you have to keep reminding yourself that the purpose of all of this is to take seriously the deep desire that everyone has for true happiness. If I have no compassion for those who have no compassion, what's the difference between us? If you really think about it, you'll see that the ancient masters, teachers, and sages were actually very demanding people. They wanted nothing less than absolute happiness. A happiness that was one single thing all the way through, and that didn't have anything else nibbling away at the edges. A happiness that wasn't dependent on wealth, statues, status, or anything else. They had a desire for true happiness. A happiness that wasn't going to cause suffering for other people. And this happiness has to be built on developing inner resources. So try to keep that same purpose in mind. Developing a true happiness that doesn't depend on anything. A happiness that's one thing all the way through. And of course, there will be times when the old desires, the old habits, are screaming for attention. But you have to take time to look. exactly where are these habits and desires going to take you? Are they leading you back to a world of opposites, where nothing is really in its pure form? Many times, it's not even that we cling to the object of our desire, but simply to desire itself. We crave desire. It's something we enjoy. So we train the mind to find something that will put the mind in a state where it doesn't need to desire anything. And part of this quest means learning to temper your desires, learning to refocus them. Instead of having scattered desires for all things in all different directions, you focus it on one big desire, the desire for total freedom, for liberation from suffering, for true happiness, and a peaceful world. If you think about it, isn't that why we desire things anyway? We hope that they'll give us happiness. And in the end, they end up not being fulfilling. We fill ourselves with desires for relationships, advancement at work, a new car, a better house. These are things that are painted in all kinds of beautiful colors in the mind. And yet, when we actually get them, the color fades. And we want something else. We keep going and going in that direction, even though we've seen the colors fade right before our eyes. We still imagine, well, the next one, the next person, the next thing, the next position in life, that'll have the colors that I desire. But it doesn't work that way. It's like the old story of the person eating peppers and crying because the peppers were hot. And the people said to him, well, why do you keep on eating peppers? And he said, well, I hope to find a sweet one in here someplace. And that's the way most of us are about our happiness. But there's one thing that doesn't disappoint. Know thyself. The knowledge of your own cycles, your own patterns. The awareness and the courage to make adjustments. When you pursue mindfulness, there's a seismic shift in your whole awareness, your whole understanding in what you think you are and what's possible in life, and the importance of your own actions. And once you become aware of this, your standards for what counts as true happiness get marked up immeasurably. And so we train the mind to see true happiness, to see peace, and to seek understanding. And your conviction for true happiness, your belief that such a thing is possible. It's what's going to get you through the hurdles placed in your way. It is through the conviction that there is a way out that we find the way out. And so we practice with single-minded focus and single-minded respect for the desire to create totally unadulterated happiness. A happiness that doesn't keep corroding at the edges, that doesn't have other stains mixed in. It's something total, whole, and complete, deep down inside. That's what we all want. We need to believe that total happiness is possible. We need to look for goodness, peace, and joy in others. This is how we will create a world of peace through our embodiment and our mindfulness and our wisdom. Imagine yourself in a world filled with peace. Think about what that life looks like. How closely does it resemble the life you live now? Does your peace require someone else to be happy? Does your peace require others to behave in a certain way? Remember, when these things arise, the challenges, the friction, the difficulty, bring our mind to the present moment and to the breath. See the cycles. Watch the thoughts. Remember the skillful thing you can do in that moment. Sending peaceful currents and thoughts of goodwill out into the world. May all beings be safe, happy, and peaceful. And so, almost, we have completed day 18 of my hour-long Sit for Peace meditation challenge.